Whose fault is it when it hurts you? Yours. But you don't want that responsibility. You don't want that. You want the responsibility of being able to take all the clout when you win. Put a ICT, I made this trade because you want other people to like your post. And I get it. That's cool. I'll like it. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, I'll like it. But I want you to be cognizant to the fact that you are expected to be responsible, not just clout chasing or looking for approval or an attaboy or attagirl, pat on the back. You got to be responsible. When you make a mistake, own it. I want to see more of that this year. I want to see, I did this wrong. This is what I was expecting to happen. This is what I felt while I was doing it, and it didn't pan out. And this is exactly how I feel right now. That's what I want to see. I want to see that. And I want other people to see how much of that occurs. Because on social media, there is some cherry picking going on social media. They only want to give you what makes them feel good about themselves. And in trading, you can't do that. You can't hide it. It's going to show up in your bottom line. Your equity curve is going to give a storyline. And that storyline isn't always a love story. Sometimes it's a fucking tragedy. Sometimes it's a horror fucking story. And sometimes it's a fucking sequel. Many times over. And it becomes a fucking enterprise of blown account after blown account until the trader learns that these are things that shouldn't be repeated. So I want to make sure that we have beat this to death. And I'm sure I'll be doing more of it before we get to February 7th. I don't want the folks like the young man that sent me the tweet the other day saying he's got his account ready to follow me live. The fact that you even mentioned that you have your account ready, that signals that you're doing everything I tell my students not to do. You shouldn't even have a paper trading account linked to TradingView while you're watching me. Because it's going to be enticement. You're not going to be able to, if you're not capable of managing yourself and controlling yourself and being disciplined, you're going to do things that's going to be distracting. And if you do something that you know now that you have been told multiple times not to do, are you going to be listening to my narrative about why price should be doing what it's doing and what it should be doing next and what you don't want to be seeing? Are you going to hear that and let it resonate with you and take it as experience while you're in a trade and you're only giving a fuck about whether or not it's going to go to profit or if it's going to stop you out? And what if you're in a trade and you don't trust where I think the market's not going to go and you're scared that it's going to stop you out and you get out of the trade and then it runs in the favor of what your trade was outlined to do? Who are you going to blame then? You're going to be mad. And you missed the entire point of the lecture over live charts. You missed it. And even watching it in hindsight won't allow you to retain it because you're going to be bitter about what the fuck you were doing goofing around. Are you worth investing the time this year in yourself the right way? I'm telling you, if you do anything outside of what I'm telling you to do, you're fucking doing it wrong. And the results won't come. You need it to be boring. You need it to be just observing one thing. Each day we're watching price and seeing how it moves and gyrates. And you'll get comfortable with seeing how it does this certain thing over and over and over again. It repeats these certain signatures that over and over again happens. And then by doing that, the setup that you don't even understand exists right now will literally come to life right in front of you in your chart. It will start resonating with you that this is the particular pattern that you like seeing me talk about. I may not even be referring to it as a trade for myself, but because I'm saying it should do this and then do that, you're like, I can see 5 handles in that. And then next time you do it, same thing happens. You already know what I'm going to say before I start saying it because you see that thing forming. He keeps talking about this, but I see this. So that's my setup. That's my model. That's my multiplier. That's the thing I'm going to gravitate to in trading. And then you work with that and let it grow. And you build more understanding as we go throughout the rest of the year. And then you start seeing more things build on that. And then your 5 handle moves become easily 15 handles and 10 handles, 20 handles, and then 15 handles, and then 30, 50 handles, and then 5 handles, and then back and forth. There's an ebb and flow. And you'll see how many times. How often does a 50 handle move occur in a month? When is it realistic to expect one? When should you only be focusing on 5 handles and be thankful that you got that and be out for the rest of the day? You're going to learn all that stuff. But I can't, and no one else can, communicate it in a book. You can't. You can't do it. It cannot be done. Trust me, if people were able to do it and they could encapsulate it inside of a book, it'd be out there everywhere and everybody would be copying it like they're doing me now. Making books and shit. They have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Smart money concepts. You just got introduced to the idea, folks. Just take your shoes off. Get comfortable. You're going to be here for a year. You're going to see all kinds of cool shit. And it's for you to learn and become better at it. Not fall victim to people that don't know how to do it. It's my prayer, honestly, for all of you to really find yourself in this. Even if you use other stuff in addition to what I teach. If it aligns with what you're doing, the times that it aligns, I'm confident, I'm absolutely confident that it will improve your understanding about price. And that's all I want. I just want to be a help. That's all. That's all I want from all of you, is to give me the opportunity to help you. That's all I'm asking for. You don't have to go out of your way, to constantly keep thanking me. We see enough of that already. Just put the work in and show me your results. That's all I'm wanting, okay? Because I know the rest will take care of itself. And once you get to that point, that confidence level, so you think right now I'm saying this and I'm going to close it. Right now you have your job, or maybe you don't have a job, okay? Maybe you just recently got laid off, fired, the company went out of business, something to that effect, but no longer you have a job. Before that happened, you probably felt real confident that as long as you keep showing up to work, you got a job. That's a false sense of security. But you've lied to yourself and convinced yourself that it's true. Those working right now having a job, your job's not guaranteed to you, no matter how much you want to talk yourself into it. Oh, they need me. They don't fucking need you. They don't need you. You are just a number to them. One little small cog in the machine. And that cog that you represent is easily replaced by somebody else for less money. That's the environment they're creating right now. You don't see it, but it's what's happening. You're going to see a lot of people losing their jobs, and folks that are in college right now, you're going through school, working very diligently, I'm sure, studying and trying to carve out a certificate. Nothing guarantees you a job with that certificate. I had a GPA just under 4%. Math and science major. That was me. That was me. I was writing programs in 6th grade after school. All from books that I got from the library. I wanted to be a video game maker. That was my aspirations as a little boy. In Middle River School, in 6th grade. The math teacher that everybody fucking hated, I loved him. Because when school ended, he let me stay until he left for the day. He let me code. And I was just doing little games and Hangman and things like that with basic language. And I was learning to code right then and there. And that was better than any college course I went through with programming, because I was passionately seeking how to do it on my own. Instead of going to a class and listening to a guy bloviate about shit that, may or not even be the best way of doing it. But you're following a process. You paid for these credits. You're going to the class, whether it be online or in person, and you're expecting to fulfill this GPA to pass it, and then you get your certificate, and that certificate means fuck all. But well done. You've wasted time and money investing in something like everybody else does in every other pursuit, unless you secure the job. Now, if you get the job and you love your job and you make really good money, then you are a success. But what happens, and I'm just posing this as an argument here, what happens if you work really hard to get through that college and you get your certificate and you get a high GPA and you get hired at the job you're trying to go after and you make the money, maybe even more, than you were hoping to make? But then you find out you fucking hate it. Do you have a plan B for that? Most people don't. A lot of people go through college, work very hard, do very well, get into the career they thought they wanted to do. When they get in it, they don't like it. Do you have an alternative? Because that's a lot of time and money to be investing in and not knowing for certain. Versus a skill set like this that can be a complement to anything that you're doing in life. Another stream of income that will help maybe replace whatever mistake you made as a career pursuit, or fulfill something that you failed in, because some of you dropped out of college. Some of you failed in college. There's room for all of you here. All of you have a place at this table. And you can come from all different walks of life. Impoverished nations, well-to-do. I have all kinds of students, and they're doing well. Not every one of them, but I have students across a wide spectrum of different demographics, countries, language barriers, all of that stuff. It wasn't formidable enough to keep them from finding success. So you have no excuse this year. None. Not a valid one, at least. Are you going to show up every day? Are you going to dismiss anybody and anything that would be a distraction to you learning? My advice to you, and I mean this sincerely, don't talk about it. Okay? This is Fight Club. You ever seen the movie Fight Club? First rule of Fight Club: we don't talk about Fight Club. That's the first rule. That means you can't hear someone else's asinine opinion about what you're doing and learning unless you invite them in the conversation. They're not going to tell you what you want to hear. They have no idea what the fuck you're doing. And if you try to explain to them, they're not going to understand. They're going to think you're fucking crazy. First rule of Fight Club: we don't talk about Fight Club. That means your friends at work, you work with them. That's it. You don't make them partners in your endeavor on learning how to trade. You're not taking them out of that fucking job when you start making money, right? So why the fuck are you bringing them along right now? You want them to feel like you're getting ready to make some changes, man. You're making some fucking waves, and you're riding that motherfucker out on your surfboard and leaving them behind. And you want them to know about it before it even starts. Don't. When they come to work and you ain't there no more, then they'll know. Send them a fucking card 3 weeks later. I'm on the beach. Fuck off. See you. Your family. First rule of Fight Club: we don't talk about Fight Club. Because they're not going to tell you what you want to hear. They're only going to tell you their fears and reasons why they wouldn't do it. So why the fuck are you going to invite them in the conversation? They won't understand what you're doing. You barely do. So why are you allowing anybody else outside of what you're trying to learn to influence you? Because they're going to influence you. Why? Because you love them. That's normal. I did the same thing. And not one of my family members, not fucking one of them, said, you know what, Michael, you fucking deserve that shit. If anybody's going to do it, boy, you are going to do it. You're going to fucking be the trailblazer. You're the fucking one. Not one of them even gave me a fucking encouragement. Oh, like, I hope you do well. All of them said, Yeah, right. You're going to be just like the rest of us. The rest of us. The rest of us? Motherfuckers, you retired. We're still working in retirement right now. I've been retired. Every one of my family members has money owed on their fucking homes if they own one. I have family members in my wife's side that are all broke. And I've tried helping them. I've put them in homes. I've put them in vehicles. I've given them money. And they still shit the fucking bed and blow themselves out. Some people you can't help. You can't help everybody in your family. And you think, I'm going to tell my friends because I love them. They're my boys. They're my girls. It's my clique. It's my people. It's my tribe. It's my circle. I'm looking out for them. I'm going to tell them what I'm doing. That's what multi-level marketing capitalizes on. The tendency for humans to want to do that. I'm telling you, don't. See a difference in the way I'm teaching? I'm upside down to everything else because this is what works. Fuck the bullshit. Your friends are going to want to learn what you're doing once you arrive. Then you'll have experience. Then you can probably tell them better. Right now, it's a pipe dream to you and them until you really do it. Stop making your fucking business somebody else's business to run. Mind your own fucking business. And don't let nobody else run your fucking business. They ain't going to run it like it needs to be ran. Their input is menial and minuscule compared to what you're expected to do on your own. Here, putting the work in, showing up every fucking day. They're going to take days off, every fucking day off to them. And you're going to let them into the conversation by saying, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing this. This is my goals. And they're going to feel like what? Oh, shit. They got a goal. They're trying to do something. Most people don't. They're trying to muster up enough strength to get out of fucking bed to drag their ass to work. And you're talking to them how you're going to change your whole fucking family tree. You're changing the whole trajectory of your finances going forward. Supercharging it for all of your siblings and offspring behind you once you arrive. Nobody wants to hear that, especially when they have no resolutions in their own life. Consider your friends right now. Who among your friends are successful? Chances are you probably don't have many friends that are successful. Most people don't. I didn't. I was the one. I was the one that grew up out of all that bullshit. And I tried my ass off to bring them with me. I had just barely enough, sometimes not enough, to keep myself going, let alone encourage them when they felt the adversities. So you're asking to win something that you can't win. That's a battle that you can't win. You can't encourage them when you haven't done it yet. And the only thing you're really doing is wanting them to think that you're making money moves. Hashtag making money moves, baby. You're living social media. That's what you're doing with your fucking friends, face to face. The best thing you can do is don't invite them to shit that you ain't proven to yourself yet. And don't invite criticism when you haven't even found your way yet.